Hello and welcome back to my incredibly unpredictable YouTube channel. I posted 3 times in the last 7 months, one which was a terrible TikTok video. And today I'm going to be walking through how I tried to make a song go viral on TikTok. It didn't. The song itself sounds a little something like this. Forever thankful for royalty-free stock videos. Anyways, that's what the song sounds like. I'm gonna now transfer in myself. I'm up here now, and this is the project file. It's running around 106 different tracks. So I think I'll just go ahead and run it through once. If you'd like, you can skip ahead around 3 minutes or so, and then the sort of walkthrough, I guess, will start then. So that is the overall piece. I guess how it first started was I was just looking for a splice sample, and then I found this particular sample, which I thought it was catchy, and in the context of TikTok, let me turn off all of the different vocal effects. Without anything, this was the original sound. So I was thinking that with the sort of build up with everything else, it's very perfect for like TikTok sort of format. But anyways, I guess sort of what I did, just going through the different things one by one. I'm gonna turn off the effects and loop so you guys can hear the different things. I started off by low passing, adding reverb, further cutting. Oh, the effects aren't even on. My bad. Okay. Adding reverb. And lots of this is just to cut the lows that were present at the start. I believe this is just to have the vocals come through like slightly more. And this is just like an auto-tune effect for hyperpop. And this, I believe, is all the same effects, but it's just a separate track that's changed to 12 semitones down, or no, semi-octaves. This is just a random drum loop that I felt like helped contribute to the vibe. Originally, I just cut out the kick sound in order to make room for the bass. Plus, otherwise, I think it would have clashed with the original. So this is it with the effects, and if it wasn't there, you have less movement and rhythm going on. So this kind of contributes to the whole feel of the track. These are just claps, nothing much to say. This was the original clap sound. And then I did OTT to have it punched more, but as you can hear, it's kind of long, so I ended up gating the tail so it's just like cut short and makes it kind of snappy, like along with the rest of the claps. I don't know, this is Toilet Plunger. I don't know what this is. Never heard a toilet plunger that sounds like that. I probably had like a Foley sample and then later replaced it with, I guess, this rattling noise. Moving down, these are just transitions. A sweep to kind of like give part of an intro. Same thing with this angel dust chimes that I think is very cute. This is just bass MIDI. I think I used a CRM preset and then I just EQ'd it to make room for the higher vocals. Without the EQ, it sounds brighter and kind of competes with the vocals. So that's why that's there. This is the original pluck. I use a lot of presets, but this is the original pluck, but I guess I wanted to make it more roomy. This is to have the vocals stand out more, and then echo just lets it kind of fill the spectrum. This again is, I don't know why I cut the highs and then re-added them. Sometimes I make questionable decisions. And then OTT along with like, I think I had echo as a sort of reverb, which the OTT can kind of increase the effect of. And then finally just cutting to allow more room for the bass. Nice. So this is just rain ambience. Not much to say. The original sample's really quiet. I cut again bass just so it wouldn't interfere, and then I kind of really distorted it. Part of the reason is like, I think if you think of the raindrops as individual waves, and then you really push everything up to the point where it's almost clipping, you have more of like an even level that allows you to adjust to the rest. So it acts as a sort of compressor, with it just fills out the spectrum more. And similar to the rain effect, just like some crowd noise. Because I think like even if you don't fully process, or you can't fully hear, I can't fully hear, I think subliminally it adds stuff. And here I'm just increasing the frequency of the claps. And this blue is just like a pitch shifter, so I guess it's shifting pitch. Moving to the chorus. This is the kick, not much to say. I added spiff to make the transient punchier. So like, without. Now it like cuts through. I also sidechained it, I believe, to the instrumental. But this is just for extra effect. and to really emphasize the transient. Sometimes I do silicon for EQ. So these are the hi-hats. The blues you see is just like pitch shifting, so that way like it kind of gives that, it's kind of like a filter sweep kind of effect. One of the things I did is I used this and put it in mono, because that lets me later, if I have a plugin that like pans things, I don't have to worry about the stereo image, because you make it mono dead center and then you pan that sound around instead of having to worry about like the side elements interfering with each other when you have something panning back and forth. And then I guess I just like cutting lines, so. Just claps, nothing much to say. EQ and reverb. That's like a snare. I gated it probably because it sounds very long, like it's almost too long, but since I can't really like edit since it's a sample, I kind of gate it so that way the long tail is cut, and then if I add a reverb, then it can kind of, you can make your own tail to fit the song. And then I bandpassed it to allow room for the bass and the vocals as well. This is just like additional percussion elements. Sometimes I feel like if you just add them, it can help fill out the spectrum and make a sound more full. And I really like clock ticking sound effects. So it's kind of in the background with like the hi-hats, but again, like kind of secret and hiding. This is just a crash. I add them at the end of each measure because I feel like it switches things up without having to fully come up with something new or transition wise place to place. This is just background kind of low sound shaker to add rhythm without it at times. It's subtle, but it's good. So this is without the effects. I guess I just auto-tuned in to get that hyper pop kind of sound effect and dropping the bass. Oh, that's cool. I like finding random ad-libs that I feel like give context to the song. This one was actually kind of tricky because originally I didn't have this, and then I noticed like there's a lot of weird things going on where like the voice should go up but shouldn't go down. I'm not quite sure what's happening unless there's like it hits some frequency ceiling and gets sent back down. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I ended up adding like this middle layer, and then it kind of gave like a point of stability. I mean, the vocals are still going like very much everywhere, but like with the context of the song, it's a lot more grounded, which is something I'll probably look into and figure out why that sort of thing's happening later. Just a fun thing. I actually used this in one of my earlier songs. It's just a snare reversed 3 times, but I feel like it sounds very nice. This is transitions. Probably, so the original sound is a preset just with like lots of reverb on it. This is gonna still be with like OTT going through, but you have the general idea. Just sort of like a background airiness. This is adding stereo. and like little ear candies. Transitions, like a riser. And this is just kind of like an electric dirty guitar sound, which I find really helps in pop production. What I do is just add a butt ton of effects until I like it. Let's see what the original. So typically I take a sound that sounds very guitar-like, and I find one of Fab or Saturn presets back in the day really helps emulate that electric guitar sound. I added more saturation to have it sound dirtier. I guess in the context of the mix I needed it brighter, because this as it sounds pretty bright. And just a lot of distortion, emphasizing the transient so it cuts through. And I guess there was some sort of harmonic noise that I heard there. And sometimes I like to, with the bass, I like to just add a general sine wave, because I find that it helps make things more full. And if you have like a specific point or peak that you're using or that you're going to, or like it helps your brain kind of know what frequency to kind of focus on. If you have something that's fully distorted, so that becomes like less tonal. Another transition. This is just a rain sound effect. So the song was originally made for TikTok. So this section was kind of added as an afterthought. A lot of what I do is I just cut things up into phrases and kind of just mess around until there's some kind of like sing-song melody. And this is the same, it's just pitch down an octave. And that's the chorus. And then it goes to this part. So this is, again, using the vocals. One of the interesting things though, I guess about this part is like you have the da 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 da. It almost becomes its own percussive type of rhythm and kind of its own instrument, which I found kind of problematic because this is without these. But then I found that if I added like little parts of that sound, like that in context with this, then it kind of lets it bounce back and forth and have kind of like a third melody on top of the original, even though it's the same note over and over again. Just more claps. Sometimes I change up claps from section to section because I feel like it adds more interest instead of just using the same clap over and over again. Sometimes I get crazy with the EQ. I'm not quite sure what the... Oh, it must have been a sample that I bounced actually. These are just like, I like adding a lot of different saw bass layers just to further fill things out. Since it's kind of ARP and not a main focus, I'll sometimes have it like go back and forth, but not too much, just subtly. Because otherwise I feel like it draws your attention away too much. And this, I think, is just re-emphasizing the bass. Just solids. One thing I sometimes do is instead of white noise, I use like, or maybe this is white noise even though it's titled different. I sometimes use like crowd cheers and things as white noise, but just distort it. Because I feel like subliminally it can provide more interest. bass. Oh, something interesting. So the glue that you hear, it's actually an 808 that's like pitched up super. Like this, if I pitch it down. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Ooh. My ears. I'm just gonna copy paste. Let me see. Okay, I'm sorry for that deletion anyway. And then again, since this was sort of made as like with emphasis on like a transition for TikTok, like here, I just kind of did the lazy producer thing where I copy pasted the same thing. Only difference is like here with the outro, I use less drums and things like that, so that way like it gives a sense that it's less full and the song's kind of ending. And then again, since I wanted things to be kind of short, it just ends abruptly without much thought. And that is how I made a two-piece song. Thank you so much for watching. If you found it useful, please let me know in the comment section down below and I can make more videos like this. Also, if you have any suggestions or feedback, please let me know and I'll be happy to make adjustments in future videos. Thank you.